Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 7th edition of Cyber Talk. And my name is Pavel. I'm the host, and today we have the honor to have with us Mr. Giuseppe Zuffanti and Mr. Panagiotis Marzelas from the ESDC, European Security and Defense College. Thank you, gentlemen, that you join us and will share with us your knowledge and thoughts and activities. And thank you. We will start the first session with Mr. Giuseppe Zuffanti. Mr. Zuffanti works since 1992 for the Italian Ministry of Internal Affairs, Police of State. Mr. Zuffanti worked in various positions and offices in the public order and safety sector for the Police of State, Italy. He had also served as IT manager for informatics security policies at the Immigration Office in Turin. He worked at the Postal and Communication Police, Piedmont and Aosta Valley as officer for 8 years, preventing and combat cybercrime. He holds a master's degrees in information treatment system and a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Scientifically Technology from Computer Science Department in Turin, Italy. Mr. Zuffanti holds the qualifying examination to Computer Science Engineering State Register from Polytechnic University in Turin. He holds a Master in Science in Engineering Management of Public Security from University of Naples, Federico II, Italy. He is interested in the artificial intelligence area. For that reason, he developed his thesis in the area of the mobile robots. After 3 years of research under the Lagrange project, I hope I pronounced it. Thank you, Turin. From October this year, 2020, he is seconded to the European Security and Defense College, ESDC, which is in the structures of European External Action Services, EEAS, as a cyber training manager. His main goals are contributing to the training program and conceptual documents, supporting the implementation of ESDC courses with a focus on cybersecurity, cooperating with relevant services in the EU institution, the EEAS and EUA. Thank you, Mr. Zuffanti, and the floor is yours. Second, yes, now you are the host.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the invitation, Professor Pavel. Thank you to all. I try to share my presentation now. Okay. Okay. Can you see the presentation?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good. Okay. So, good morning. The title of the presentation is the EU Cyber Ecosystem and how to break through this stovepipe system. And we try to present in my part and I'm pleased that you have this opportunity to present a lecture about the activity of the ESDC College, the European Security and Defense College. Good. The ESDC works under the overall responsibility of the High Representative and is established as a network college. So network college is a main keyword, bringing together the existing national and international training institutes dealing with the security and defense policies issue within the Union, including the EUISS, the European Union Institute for Security Studies. The structure of the college is unique and it's setting within the EU structures. It's embedded in the crisis management structure of the European External Action Service. is a separate entity with its own legal capacity. So legal capacity is the second main keyword, including to hold bank account closely embedded within the ES premises and holds close links with the relevant EU institution and agency, with the CIPOL, for instance, the European Union Agency for Law Enforcement Training in particular. So we can say that the European Security and Defense College is like a facilitator of a European security culture. We have a lot of objectives in this slide. Yes, you can see. ESDC is an exclusive EU-level training and education provider in the field of CSDP, Union's Common Security and Defense Policy, that enable the Union to take a leading role in peacekeeping operations, conflict prevention, and in the strengthening of the international security. So, but which are the main objectives of our college? To further enhance the common European security and defense culture within the common security and defense policy, to promote a better understanding of CSDP as an essential part of common foreign and security policy, is the organized agreed foreign policy of the European Union for mainly security and defense diplomacy and actions, to support civilian crisis management in the field of conflict prevention, and establishing or preserving the conditions necessary for sustainable development, to provide union instances and member states with knowledgeable personnel familiar with EU policies, institutions, procedures, and best practices in the field of cybersecurity and defense. So you can see cyber security and defense is the main side of the objectives. And to provide the CSDP mission and operation personnel with a common understanding of functioning principles and a sense of common European identity. So the college disseminates through its activities best practices in CSDP issues and furthers the development of a common European security culture. It contributes to the promotion of CSDP and CFSP among civilian and military personnel and to national efforts in the field of training and education. To provide training responding to training needs of CSDP mission and operation, and etc. And main important and support the Committee for Civilian Aspects of Crisis Management, EU Counter-Terrorism Group, by administering and managing the travel and the accommodation costs related to the activities of the civilian coordinators for training. Network members range from national defense academies to peace universities, from police colleges to diplomatic training institutes. So you can see in the chart the main information about who we are. The college has several comparative advantages over other training providers. So you can see that the ESDC is embedded in the EU structures and is able to quickly identify new training needs and include them in its programming cycle and curriculum. In the second column, the second pillar of the composition of the college, you can see that ESDC provides first-class training thanks to its network structure, its broad variety of lectures, including practitioners, academic, and officers, its use of participants with a wealth of expertise and professional experience as resource persons, and its e-learning tool and its standardized, annually updated curriculum. The third part, in the third column, the college awards its student certificate. This is very important because the certificate is signed by the High Representative of the Union for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, and legally recognized by all EU member states and EU institutions. in the fourth column, the ESDC follows an inclusive approach, inviting civilian, police, military, and diplomatic staff to its courses, and ensuring that the training groups are balanced. This approach allows for exchange of view on common foreign security policy and common security defense policy from a variety of vantage points. So you can see that the ESDC trains decision makers in the neighboring countries, stabilization and association process, and Eastern Partnership training programs, while facilitating the neighboring policies and the association process of country to the EU. So this is the ESDC administrative structure. In order to achieve all the activities described above, the college is organized in a four-tier structure. As presented in figure, you can see the Executive Academic Board, the EAB, ensures the quality and coherence of the ESDC training activities and is supported by the following domain specific configurations. The second pillar is the ESDC Secretariat, assists the head of the ESDC in fulfilling his task, obviously. And the head of the ESDC is the third pillar, is responsible for the financial and administrative management of the ESDC, as well as assisting the committee, the steering committee, and the board in organization and managing ESDC activities. And the fourth pillar is the steering committee that is responsible for the overall conditioning and direction of the ESDC training activity. And in this slide, you can see the ESDC ecosystem. So I want to focus the attention on the steering committee, that is a key part of the ESDC structure and provided by the legal basis. It bears the responsibility for the overall coordination and direction of the ESDC training and education activity. The legal basis also provides that the steering committee is supported by representatives of the commissions and other EU institutions, including the EES. This work with the ESDC head and its staff. The steering committee also considers how the ESDC can better connect the civilian and military offers on CSDP training and education, and thus strengthens coordination between the EU civilian and military responses to conflicts or crises, a very important task, conflicts and crises. The steering committee decision process relies on the scientific and academic advice and the recommendations received from the European Executive Academic Board. So, the collaboration between the committee and the Executive Academic Board takes place through the year, and the steering committee takes the key decisions in such areas as training priorities, the annual academic program, and the budget and the human resources required to deliver that. You can see in the picture that we have a lot of keywords, a lot of network, a lot of pillar. So as you can see, the steering committee and the executive academic board collaborate a lot. As I said before, the council decision governing the ESDC assigns the executive academic board the responsibility to assure the quality and coherence of the college's training and education activity. In particular, you can see some of the tasks inside the configuration of the executive academic board, provide academic advice and recommendation to the ESDC steering committee, implement through the network the agreed annual academic year program, oversees the e-learning system. In this pandemic year, it's a very good opportunity to have this opportunity, very important e-learning activity, and develops and review curricula for all ESDC training and education activity. Review standard of the training, submit to the steering committee proposal, and ensure a systemic evaluation of all ESDC training and education activity, etc. You can see some tasks inside the EAB configuration. The VUGIMOT, the Working Group on Missions and Operations Training, the VUGI SSR, the Security Sector Reform, the CQF MILOF, Sector Qualification Framework to the Military Officer Profession, and Doctoral School on CSDP, European Doctoral School on Common Security and Defense Policy. Emilio, that the implementation group, is supported to the of the European Initiative for the Exchange of Military Young Officers, Military Erasmus, and the EAB.cyber. You can see the website and the link to try some other details. And in this chart, I show you the training cycle, the ESDC training cycle. So we start with a plan. We start to quickly identify new training needs to include them in its programming cycle and curricula. This is the stage 1, so in a plan, do, check, act training cycle. After, we can start with the planning of the training design. This is the stage 2. And the stage 3, we deliver the training so to the network. And the important step is the training evaluation and the check phase. So the briefing and to know all the information after the course. After the training evaluation, we analyze the curricula in a revision phase, and the training cycle restart as a loop. Since now the ESDC has developed more than 53 training activities, which focus on horizontal or regional issues. 2 of the more general courses are on the common foreign and security policy itself, at the newcomer level in the case of the CSDP orientation course, and the strategic leadership level in the case of CSDP high-level course. However, the ESDC has adapted specific training programs for its partners and has introduced skill-based courses. In parallel with that, upon discussion in various council bodies, ESDC introduces pre-deployment training for contracted staff and operation newcomers. I show you a slide after that. So we have a lot of activity, more over 53 different training courses. And some number, sure, the number of ESDC activity. The college promotes an integrated approach in its training curriculum, including youth crisis management options and its political framework. And so you can see the 2011, the start, you can see that in the ESDC activity continued to increase significantly. The college began to organize 29 activities in the first academic year, up to 136 activities in 2018-19 academic year. And the last academic year, the pandemic, has unfortunately reduced the activity up to 96. But despite the COVID situation, the COVID-19 situation, the ESDC offered remote, virtual, residential, and blended successful training. Yes, a lot of change the form, the shape to propose courses. So this is the slide that I talked about before, the ESDC increased the support to missions and operations pre-deployment training. The PDT, as defined by ESDC, is a final cut briefing, complementing national preparatory training activities. It's very important because it provides participants with the latest relevant information, instruments, and policies to enable them to efficiently contribute to the implementation of the mission mandate. I can show you a training cycle in PDT. Consists in basic training, generic and core, and advanced training held in the respective member states. This is the first stage. After, we have the pre-deployment training held in Brussels, in the headquarters. So it's a good opportunity to share information, to meet all the personnel of the mission and the operation. And after, we have the third step, that is induction training upon arrival in the field of the mission. So we have the 4 steps in mission training, in the field, directly in the field. And the fifth step, that is the brief and the lessons learned after return at the member states. And so the PDT does not substitute the national training efforts, which remain in the hands of member states, as clearly indicated in the EU policy on the training for CSDP. So you can see the network. The ESDC was created as a network college and is currently composed of more than 189 national training institutes, doctoral school and military Erasmus member, 175 full members, and 14 association network members, which means that they are members from countries outside of the EU. Network members range from national defense academies to peace university, from police college to diplomatic training institute. So the synergies, I think that is one very most important keyword, because ESDC has contributed to the enhancement of synergy between various actors in the field of CFSP and CSDP, aiming to support the regional priorities of the EU member states and the European External Action Service. And other commission directors also provide support to meet specific training needs. They include the Director General Home, the DG Home Counterterrorism, the DG Move, Maritime Security, and DG DEFCO, Fragility, Security, and Development. So this is my last slide to sum up. So the ESDC promotes an integrated approach in its training curriculum including EU crisis management options and its political framework, diplomatic action, economic sanctions, common security and defense policy, enable the Union to take a leading role in peacekeeping operation, conflict and prevention, and the strengthening of the international security, very important. Development aid, the EU is the largest donor of development aid in the world. The Justice and Home Affairs Council develops the trade, the climate, the EU is fighting climate change, and conflict prevention measures and humanitarian assistance. So the successful implementation of CSDP increasingly depends on the availability of and access to security cyberspace. And so moving to that direction, the Cyber ETEE platform, Cyber Education Training, Evaluation and Exercise platform has been created within the ESDC in 2018. And so this is the second part of the presentation, and this is the part of my colleague Panagiotis. And thank you for your attention. And so this is the finish of my part of the presentation of the ESDC College. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zuffanti. I have several questions, but it was a very profound and interesting lecture about the ESDC activities and bodies and agencies and field of interest. But I know that your time is limited. So yeah, so
yes, sorry.
thank you. No, it's okay. I know. So thank you very much, Mr. Zuffanti, that you joined us. And
thank you too for the invitation. And,
thank you.
If you have any question, I ask you, or now, or by mail, or by my colleague Panagiotis. No problem.
Of course,
I am at your disposition. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So we will now move to your colleague, Mr. Panagiotis Marzelas, also from the European Security and Defense College, ESDC. Since 2002, Mr. Marzelas worked for the Greek Ministry of Foreign Affairs as telecommunication and ICT engineer. Mr. Marzelas had served in various positions and countries, such as a cybersecurity attaché at the Greek embassy in Yaoundé, Cameroon, and the Greek embassy in Tallinn, Estonia. He held a Master in Science in Cybersecurity from Tallinn Technical University, TalTech, Estonia, and the Master in Science in Telecommunication Engineering from Dublin City University, DCU, Ireland. He is interested in the weakest link of information security chain, the human behavior, the personality vulnerabilities, and the ways to exploit them. For that reason, his cybersecurity thesis had the title, A Social Media Honeypot Method to Detect Spear Phishing. From July 2019, he is seconded to the European Security and Defense College, ESDC, which is in the structures of the European External Action Services, EEAS, as a cybersecurity training manager. His goal are to identify cybersecurity-related training needs and create courses to fill in the gaps in a fast-changing professional and personal environment. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Panagiotis Marzelas. I think you have a permission if...
yes, I do.
You already have? I think so.
I will just share my presentation. So, let's see. Can you? Okay.
Yeah.
So, dear Professor Tal Pavel, dear participants, thank you for having us here to present the ESDC College. My name is Panagiotis Marzelas, and I'm seconded national expert, as you said, to ESDC Cyber ETEE platform since July 1st, 2019. Following the presentation of my colleague Giuseppe Zuffanti, I will introduce to you the Cyber ETEE platform, the EU cyber ecosystem that we are involved with, and our activities, in a way to answer on how to break through this stovepipe system through training. The Cyber ETEE platform stands for Education, Training, Exercise and Evaluation Platform. It is not an actual electronic platform, but a way of thinking, acting, and presenting results in the cyber domain. The ESDC's Cyber ETEE platform was established and started its pre-initial operational capability on February 6, 2018, after the adoption of a decision from the Steering Committee of ESDC. In November of the same year, 2018, the Cyber ETEE reached the initial operational capability. And 1 year later, in September 2019, the full operational capability was achieved. That means that the 4 out of the current 5 members of our platform were employed already. By that time, we have created and delivered new courses than the 2 courses that we inherited from the previous situation. All training managers in ESDC are seconded national experts, and the same rule applies for the cyber platform as well. That means that the training managers are public sector employees from the 27 member states and have limited amount of time, 3 to 6 years, to complete their work before they return to their national positions. One of our main tasks is to organize cybersecurity and cyber defense courses for civilian and military personnel of the 27 member states. Our courses aim to serve the purpose of the common security and defense policy and to upscale the training opportunities of the member states. So, as I was saying, our courses aim to serve the purpose of the common security and defense policy and to upscale the training opportunities for the member states in an effort to achieve a common understanding in cyber actions. All our courses are free of charge for all of our participants. The member states decide which of their employees will participate, and the national nominators have the duty to enroll the participants in the courses. The cyber courses follow the same pattern as the other ESDC courses. They have an e-learning part that prepares the participants to come to the residential part and to be able to follow the course. After this small introduction, let's take a look at the big picture and see how the global cyber ecosystem looks like based on a study from the European Union Institute for Security Studies, the EU ISS. As we see here, the core of the cyber ecosystem is consisted of 4 subdomains: the security domain, subdomain, the defense subdomain, the cybercrime subdomain, and the diplomacy subdomain. On the smallest circle, the one closest to the core, we can see the international actors and their links with the 4 subdomains. On the middle circle is the EU cyber ecosystem, and we can observe, for example, that the European Commission have links and activities in all 4 subdomains, while the European External Action Service, which has ESDC in their structures, has links and actions in defense and diplomacy subdomains. Since it is the EU Military and Foreign Affairs and Defense Ministry for Foreign Affairs and Defense of EU. On the outside circle are the national authorities, ministries, research centers, etc., related to the 4 subdomains of the cyber. With a first glance, we notice that the 4 circles do not intersect. From that, we understand that the representation is done according to the responsibilities and the field of competence of each authority or institution depicted on this map. In this slide, we will see the EU cyber ecosystem, which is the external relations, cyber defense, cybercrime, and the network information security. And we see that it follows an almost identical pattern, but the 4 circles or subdomains, or bubbles, as we say in ESDC, they intersect. That is because we believe that a cyber incident has more than one areas of interaction. For example, we have a cybercrime case. The law enforcement officer handling the case needs to be able to communicate with his colleagues in other foreign ministries to gather information, connect the dots of the case, and cooperate for the prosecutions. It is possible that it will use different procedures in one country and different procedures in the other country. That requires the external relations subdomain to intersect and interact with the cybercrime subdomain. In our own little world in ESDC, we perceive the subdomain in the same way as we can see in this slide, which is almost identical. And we, in these 4 subdomains, we create courses and we use our activities for education and training. We participate in exercises. We organize workshops and conferences, and we have touched the research area. We believe that every of these 4 subdomains or 4 bubbles have 5 levels of competence. Initially, the entry level is the awareness level, the tactical or operational level, the strategic level, the technical level, and the legal level. We believe that as in every system in electronics, in IT, every system has an input and an output. And it has also the legal boundaries that you can work in between, that you can produce your work. So I will give here an example of how through training we believe that we can break through the stovepipe system. As we saw earlier, the 4 circles, the 4 subdomains did not intersect, and they were separated through the field of competence. But for example, if we train a forensics analyst, then we will see this forensic analyst working in cybercrime or in network information security or in cyber defense. We can see this forensic analyst in cyber defense working in intelligence section or in military CERT or in military security operations center. On the other hand, in network information security, the forensic analyst will have to work on the protection of the information, to be able to set up the rules, set up the traps that he will need to work on during the attribution phase if something bad happens. And in cybercrime, we see the same person working, collecting evidences to solve a cybercrime case. We see that in the technical and the tactical level, the work of this forensic analyst is the same. But the only difference is in the legal framework that he is working. So we in ESDC, what we do is we train this person, and he's able to work on all 3 areas and adjust himself according to the legal background of his position later on. So let me show you what the ESDC also is doing within the EU cyber ecosystem. So we transfer cyber knowledge. We strengthen the cyber expertise. We improve education, training, and exercise quality. We promote action in cyber domains. We develop cooperation and synergies, trying to reduce overlaps and achieve the necessary complementarity, with our main goal, the standardization and the harmonization of training. I will give an example here that 15 years that the ESDC is working, since 2005. Our motto and the way of working is that we give more for less. So our courses, as we said before, they cost nothing for the participants. And we try to connect the people who have the knowledge from the European institutions to come to give lectures to our courses and to pass their experience to the younger generations or to people who are new to their new positions through their experience that is not yet documented to some books. And that is very important because this knowledge is very difficult to be found. For a very good example is the executive director of the satellite center here outside of Brussels. It's the Ambassador Sorin Ducarou. Mr. Ducarou was before in NATO, and he worked during 2016 for the 2016 NATO summit in Warsaw, when the cyber became the fifth domain of warfare. Imagine how much experience this person has to say to the newest people in their positions about how the people at that time, they perceive the cyber as the fifth domain of cyber warfare. Because he was in there during history was made with the declaration of cyber as the fifth domain of cyber warfare. So people like that, they're coming to our courses, they're lecturing, and they're giving their experience, which is very, very difficult to be found otherwise. So let's move forward to our current actions. So we provide awareness and advanced level courses. We open discussion for new activities and synergies. We involved in various project activities within the EU, offer cyber expertise, and support EU cyber exercises. For example, we participated in the cyber diplomacy exercise last year. Unfortunately, this year was cancelled due to COVID. We participated in the EU military exercise last year. And we have started an initiative on operational research. What we mean with operational research is that we're trying to bridge the operational institutes, which they are loaded with their everyday job, which they're facing many problems every day, but they do not have the time to spend for research. And we try to bridge these institutions with the academic institutions, which they have all the time in the world to do research. Trying to transfer problems from the operational field to the academic field, to have the time to deal with these problems, and then reply back, give feedback with the solutions to these problems of everyday life. That activity was announced a few months ago, and on our executive academic board of February, we will have official announcements of which operational institutions, EU agencies, and national authorities will be involved in this activity. So stay tuned on February about these announcements. So let's go through our training activities and see through our activities how ESDC is connecting, creating links with all the three cycles that we saw from the global cyber ecosystem. So we have an open source intelligence course from the Hellenic Joint Intelligence School, which is a national authority. We have a cyber defense policy on national and international level from the Baltic Defense College, which is an academic, military academic institution in the city of Tartu in Estonia, the first semester of 2021. Cybersecurity and Smart City in the city of Trikala, the first semester of 2021. Trikala city is in Greece, from the University of Thessaly, which is an academic institution. We have the Cyber Awareness Train the Trainer course from the European Defence Agency, which is an EU agency, on the first semester of 2021. Then we move to the cyber implications to common security and defense policy operations and missions planning. This is again the European Defence Agency in Brussels, the first semester of 2021. Network security and wireless security from the University of Piraeus in the first semester of 2021, which is also an academic institution. We do have a cyber diplomacy course to touch the external relations circle, bubble, or subdomain, which is a modular course. The module 1 was just provided on the 10th of November, between the 10th and the 12th of November of 2020, by the National Institute for Research and Development in Informatics from Bucharest, Romania. This is a research institute. The module 2 will be provided in the first semester of 2021 in Brussels by the French IHEDN and the Portuguese Ministry of Defense. This is a combination between a public administrative body, which is under the authority of the French Prime Minister, and a national authority like the Ministry of Defense of Portugal. Then we go to a course that we try also to provide external capacity, and it is called The Role of the EU Cyber Ecosystem in Global Cybersecurity Stability. The course will be given, these are 3 iterations of the same course. It will be given for the Western Balkan region, which is a very important region for political reasons for EU. It will be given in Thessaloniki, in Greece, the first semester of 2021, by the Greek Ministry of Foreign Affairs and ENISA, a national authority combined with an EU agency. Again, it will be given in Estonia, in Tallinn, the first semester of 2021, from the Estonian MFA, which is a national authority, but it will be combined, but it's not confirmed yet, with other think tanks and international institutes in Estonia. The third iteration will be from Cyprus, very next to you, for a region that is related also to Israel, which is called the Middle East and North Africa region, which is basically this region includes the nation states from Algeria until Iran and Oman. Later, we go to Cyprus again, in Nicosia, the first semester of 2021. The Digital Security Authority, which is a national authority, will give the cybersecurity organizational and defensive capabilities. The cybersecurity basic for non-technical experts. This is an awareness level from Budapest National Public Service University, which is an academic institution. We move then to ENISA and in Crete, Heraklion, GR, Greece, training on information security management, specialized at technical and tactical level, the second semester of 2020. Then we have the infrastructures in the context of digitization from Austria in Vienna, the Austrian Institute of Technology, and Austrian Institute for European and Security Policy. These are also academic institutions. Then in Vienna again, understanding the civil-military dimension of cyber attacks in region. From the Austrian Institute for European and Security Policy and the Federal Ministry of Defense. This is a combination between academic institution and national authority. Next, we will have the training in critical infrastructure protection with emphasis on cyberspace from risk management to resilience. This is a modular also course. It is running for the first time. That is why it's a pilot course. The first module is running in a few days. It will be an online course. The title is Emerging Technologies Transforming Critical Infrastructure Protection. And it will be delivered from the National Institute for Research and Development in Informatics, which is a research center. The second module, it will be delivered here in Brussels, the first semester of 2021. And this will combine the JRC, the Joint Research Center, which is European Commission in Ispra, Italy, Digital Security Authority of Cyprus, which is a national authority, and the National Institute for Research and Development in Informatics, which is a research center, which shows big combination from three different geographical positions. So, and as we see here, when we go back to the global cyber ecosystem, we see that the ESDC, which is a small dot on the EU cyber ecosystem on the upper right corner, has links with international players, with the European cyber ecosystem, and the national cyber ecosystem. And of course, with the core of cyber as its everyday job. So our contact details for anyone who's interested to become a member to the EU, to the European Security and Defense College, is our functional mailbox, the ESDC-cyber-ETEE at European External Action Service.europa.eu. My email is panagiotis.marzelas@ees.europa.eu. And our website is the ESDC.europa.eu. There you can find more information about the ESDC. You can find also our curricula, which they are uploaded and free for review. And so whatever you might need or any questions you might have now or later when you watch this video, you can contact us and we're open to reply to you and solve any questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Panagiotis Marzelas, for this very interesting lecture presentation. Very profound and sorry for the cat. And I wrote for myself several questions, and some of them received an answer during your enriching lecture. You invited us in the last slide to join the ESDC, and it's that's what I want to ask: who can attend, who can enroll, who can be member at the ESDC? And from this question, we can have the second one, that who can apply to those very interesting courses that you've mentioned in the 4 dimension and 4 domain of courses.
Yeah, an institution and national authority, the EU agencies are by default members, of course. From EU, any institution or national authority can apply. From third countries, they can apply the universities and national authorities from countries which basically they have a security agreement with EU. Because the procedure is that we receive an application, then the university or the national authority, it goes to the executive academic board to make a presentation to show why the presence here, it will have an added value for both sides, what they can offer with their courses and their expertise. And then this presentation will go to the steering committee, which is the 27 member states of EU. And they will decide to accept this institution or the national authority. So for EU, for example, it was one case in the past that it was one university which had some links with the Confucius Center from China. And then there were raised some questions because it has been noticed in the past that these centers, they are used to pass propaganda within the Western world. So that's why the political part of the ESDC, which is the 27 member states of the steering committee, will also have their own check on the institution and the reasons why a national authority or an academic institution from a third country would like to join our ecosystem. That's, I guess it replies to your question. And also, the participants are civilian and military personnel, basically public sector employees from EU. And it's like an offer back to the society because we co-fund these courses as an offer of the European taxes back to the society, courses that the participants do not, they are not charged of anything. So the participants are EU citizens, and or in a case, for example, that a third country's institute who is already a member wants to organize a course and they would like to invite some of their employees or their students, or then it's up to there to invite them also. But the requirement is to fit first the needs of the 27 member states of EU, and then if you have the capacity to accommodate more people from your institution or your national authority, we are open to help you with that too.
I see, thank you. You mentioned also sub exercises.
Yes.
Which are the topics and which type of sub exercise? I'll give an example. We at Tel Aviv Academic College performed for the past 5 years with 2 universities, one in Australia and one in China, capture the flag, sub challenge, and our students will participate this Saturday in Chinese capture the flag challenge. So what are the type of sub exercises on one hand, and on the other hand, what are the domain and the topics of those exercises?
We participated, as I said, in the military exercise of 2019 from the European military staff. And then we participated also in the European cyber diplomacy exercise. So in these two exercises, we basically we had action in the EU in the external relations, let's say, circle of the cyber domains, and the cyber defense circle subdomain. We are moving also to participate on other exercises. But as you know, with the COVID, most of these stuff have gone back. And that's why yet we have not participated anymore.
Yeah, fully understood. So yeah, I wrote us several questions, but we already passed our time. So thank you very much, Mr. Panagiotis Marzelas, and I would like to thank also Mr. Giuseppe Zuffanti that was in the first part and need to leave from the European Security and Defense College. Thank you very much for both of you for being with us and sharing your activity and your knowledge about the important activity of the European Security and Defense College, mainly the cyber domain. Thank you very much for your time and see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We will be in contact and hopefully we will able to cooperate in the future.
Gladly, Mr. Marzelas, gladly. Thank you very much. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.